Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Saturday video. This one's going to be a little different and crazy. Going to be covering a couple different things. First off, I have got to show y'all this one attack that somebody made against my base. It is the most hilarious thing I have seen yet in this game. Okay, so I believe it is this one here. Let's see the replay. And this kind of highlights how necessary it is to have very precise control of your units. Okay, come on, come on. Load up, load up. Alright, so he's going to attack my base from up here. Let's turn that down a little bit, first off. So, I'm going to just let it play at this speed. You'll see everything's going pretty well. Infantry comes out. They're going to kill my infantry. But that Abrams is where things are going to get a little sticky. You'll see he lets his S-13s dip just in front of his tanks, making my Abrams lock onto his S-13s. And that Abrams can two-shot each of those S-13s, so he doesn't want those to take any damage. And now we're going to speed it up. Round and round he goes, chasing my Abrams, trying to kill it. And he burns... How much time does he burn doing this? It's... Come on. Yeah, he finally calls in Reapers to try and take out some of my stuff. Come on. It's been almost 2.5 minutes. And you haven't even taken out... There we go. At 2.5 minutes in, he takes out my Abrams. And now we're going to bump it up to 4. And you'll see, like, he has more than enough to take it out. To take out my base. But he burns so much time. It's just not possible. And that's just pretty hilarious. Okay. That's that. Now, before I get to my main topic, I do want to mention that in the past week or so, it seemed kind of like I've been bashing Kixeye for, like, I almost always point out the negative things in their updates and patches and unit variations and whatnot that they put out. I seem to be bashing it. I just want to say I love this game. I really do. It's the best one out there right now. And it has some shortcomings. I mean, let's just face it. Every game has a couple shortcomings, especially one this new. And they mention in almost all of their announcements that they are working on balances. But we all know balances are hard. I mean, just looking at it, before it was like, oh, S-13s and rocket buggies are horrible. They need to be patched. But in patching everything to make sure that rocket buggies weren't overpowered, they made helicopters overpowered. So now we have issues with helicopters. And it may take a while for them to get everything up and running, but I would just encourage everybody to stick with it, keep playing, give your supportive feedback. They are very active on their Reddit threads. Y'all should go check those out. They also have forums on their website. Let them know what you think. They really do read, and whether they actually pay attention or care, some people have varied theories about that, but, you know, it is what it is. From the massive amount of patches and updates and feedback we get, it's obvious that they care and want this game to be really great. So we should just try and help them do that. Okay, so the main topic of this video is that I do not even bother attacking strongholds anymore. I don't. It's retarded. So just to give my little story on that, I've been attacking tons and tons of PvP. Tons and tons and tons. Like you saw just then when I opened my attack log. I'm constantly running low on oil just because I'm running so much PvP. And every time I do PvP, I never get less than 25,000 metal. And almost every single time I get a silver crate. Actually, I think every time I've gotten a silver crate, I don't think I've ever gotten a bronze or a gold from PvP, but I always get silver. Which gives me a lot of common cards of one type, and then a decent amount of critical cards or equipment cards of 2 different units. And it varies up so much that while I don't get the ones I want every time, it does work out to where I'm never really wanting for critical cards. Whereas when I attack strongholds, I get 32,000 metal for each one, which isn't anything. Before, it wasn't anything to sneeze at. Now, after the update, attacking one stronghold, you always have to use redeploy tokens. At least at my level, I always have to use redeploy tokens, which means I have to spend the time grinding for redeploy tokens, which means that the overall time it takes to get one stronghold taken is usually over 30 minutes. So it takes me 30 minutes to get 32,000 metal, and that's for a chance at getting a silver or gold crate. On more than... I've gotten one gold crate, and this is probably between 10 strongholds I have attacked. I have gotten only one gold crate. Most of the times I get silver crates, which are exactly like the PvP silver crates and don't really give me all that much that I want. And several times I've gotten bronze crates, which give me like 10 common cards. Yeah, just way to stick that middle finger in my face, Kixeye, thank you. It's totally ridiculous. There's no reason... I'm probably not even going to post how to defeat strongholds, because it's pointless. So I'm just going to run through a couple attacks here, and we're just going to see the kind of loot I get. I'm just starting out. I'm willing to bet it's all going to be silver crates, and... I'm sorry, getting a drink there. You'll see just how easy it is. The platoon I've been using is all Reapers for my air support, and all Cobras. So basically what I do, okay, here's a prime example. I look at a base, and I see, like, literally all I look for is that there's no flag. No flag, good to go, let's do this. Alright, so we're going to select all, AI off, deploy, wipe out the infantry. Even if I let all the infantry deploy, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just less of a hassle if I don't. I would prefer not spending that extra oil. Okay. Alright, okay, there we go. He spit out some S-13s. So, I mean, these helicopters are cheap, but you still have to kind of micro-control them to manage how much damage you really take. Especially against salvo turrets. Salvo turrets are a good counter for helicopters. They deal a decent amount of damage, and if you don't spread your helicopters out, you're just sucking it in. As you'll see, like, this attack's probably going to be a little over 2 minutes. Because that's the last one. Now I'm going to turn AI on. And I'm going to select a couple of these and have them go out to the different extremities and start attacking. And they're just going to clean up this base in no time flat. Yeah, I'm going to be coming in probably under the 2-minute mark. When war factories deploy those tanks, it can be a little bit of a distraction, but I just let the helicopters do it. It's not that big a deal. It's easier than trying to micro-control every movement. Yep, 1 minute and 47 seconds. Wrecked his entire base. Yeah, silver crate, there we go. Which gives me 7 light vehicle common cards, 6 Reaper critical cards, and 4 machine gunner critical cards. And that is a reliable method. I haven't done it just because it's easier and less and more oil efficient to not attack bases that have holy cow, flak turrets. Man, my brain's taking a dump on me. Anyway, to attack bases that don't have flak turrets, but even if I did attack one that had a flak turret, these 12 Reapers will one-shot that flak turret and allow me to take out the rest of his base. It's just losing all those Reapers is a massive oil hit, so I would only do that on a base that had well over 60,000 metal. And yeah, I could take on this base. Okay, so I'm going to use this base to try something different. It may or may not work. We shall see. So it's all S-13s, no helicopters. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this platoon. This is kind of a fun platoon I've been messing with. Because of the update, infantry has become viable. Now, up until now, I was using, instead of 3 Abrams, I was using 2 Abrams, and in place of that extra Abrams, I was using 5 Mortarmen. Now, if 5 Mortarmen is very valuable. They are awesome units. However, they are a lot more involved. You have to micro-control them individual of all your other units. Because tanks have a 50 movement speed, infantry has a 45 movement speed. So there's not that much of a difference. You can move your Abrams and your machine gunners or riflemen as a group, and it's not that big of a deal. Mortarmen have a 35 movement speed, so if you move your Mortarmen with all your other units, you are just taking so much unneeded damage, so you need to use your Mortarmen individually of all your other units. I switched to 3 Abrams just because I thought it may be a little bit better not to have to worry about micromanaging all those units. So let's just deploy all the units here and kind of see. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and come back here. We're going to stage up a little bit. We're going to turn AI on just so they can wreck these guys themselves. Turn AI off, turn AI on. Okay, how are we looking? One more S-13. Alright, let's do this. These infantry deal so much damage per second. It is legitimately ridiculous. Okay, we're going to use our Reapers to wipe out at least one of those things so we stop taking quite so much damage. But you're going to see it's not even going to be that big of a deal. These infantry are basically one volley and they wreck everything. Because one thing the update didn't change is infantry has the best damage per second per unit used, especially now. It actually increased that. Right after this attack, we'll go take a look at those statistics, and then we'll be done. But, like, before, oh, we'll just look at it. I don't remember exactly what it was before, but it has increased. Another good thing about using infantry, most people are still geared towards defending against vehicles, so minefields are almost always going to be anti-vehicle. So if you just amass a large group of infantry to push through one little line, it's not that big a deal. Come on, let's go. There's another silver one. Like I said, I have a 100% of the time I've been getting silver crates. That gave me 10 common cards on that, 8 critical cards on that, and 6 critical cards on that. So I have enough to build 3 rocket buggies now whenever I level up my war factory. I have leveled up my airfield, so now I have thunderbolts available. So in my next grinds, I'm going to work on building 3 of them, which would be enough to put in to max out my air capacity on my alpha platoon, and also upgrade them to level 2 at least, and then I'll do a video on them, using them in attacks and whatnot. Oh wait, I did not mean to hit next. I'm sorry. Force of habit, you know. Come on. Hello, War Commander. There we go. Okay, so, oh hey, I got a dynamic objective completed. Collect that. Oh, hey, let's go hit up this shop really quickly. Let's see what I got in my crate. I mean, it's a basic silver crate, so I get the same kind of stuff I got before, plus a couple redeploy tokens. Yeah, a couple light vehicle common cards, a couple PK cards, and Reaper card. Oh no, wait, that was Thunderbolt cards. So, I'll take them. Okay. Now let's get into here and look at these infantry units. As a baseline, before people are getting all their damage from their S-13s, and we see those do 321 damage per second while taking up 75 capacity. So 321 damage per second. Let's go look at our machine gunners. 208. So you can have three. Excuse me, man. For this, so 75 capacity. In that, you can use 3 machine gunners in the place of 1 S-13 with 15 space left over. So 3 times 208 is 624. So for the same capacity as 1 S-13, so 624 versus 321. So for the same for the replacement capacity of 1 S-13, you almost double your damage. Now, as you start increasing that, so let's say you take out 2 S-13s. So you're not just that frees up 150 space, which is going to give you 7 machine gunners. Sorry. Loud noise just happened outside. Totally threw my train of thought off. Anyway, you get 7 machine gunners for the price of 2 S-13s, and that multiplication just keeps going up and up and up and up. So when you replace an entire platoon of S-13s with infantry, it's absolutely ludicrous how much damage per second you're dealing. Let's do some quick math here. 16 machine gunners. 16 times 2 is 30. Yeah, 16 times 2 is 32. I'm a retard. And times 2 is 32. That's 3,200 plus how that multiplication of 8. I'm just rounding. So over 3,200 damage per second from machine gunners, and with that sustained damage, that is ridiculous because they do like a 3 or 4 second burst. So in a 3-second burst, they're dealing over 10,000 damage. That is ludicrous. That is just insane. Anyway, hope you guys have fun with this. I mean, I still use the helicopter platoon just because it's easy and fast, but when I'm feeling like really enjoying the game and getting the fullest out of it, I mess around with my platoons using tanks and infantry, and I would encourage you all to do the same. As many flaws as there were with this patch, it did allow us to mess with a lot better platoon composition. So I would encourage you, while it is like it is, explore those opportunities, because who knows when the next time they're going to go away is. But hope y'all learned something. Until next time, have an awesome day.